I'm showing my cardboard clock today. I built it myself. I'll show you how it's all going to work. Here is the box it came in. It's made by Wrebbit, called the Medieval Clock. You can find it on eBay. They don't make them anymore, but you can find one that hasn't been put together yet. But I put this one together and I'll show you how it works. If I tick the pendulum, you'll be able to see that it does start to spin. It kind of does what it's supposed to do. Sometimes it works better than others, but it's going to stop within about a minute. Kind of interesting how it works. These heavy weights filled with pennies spin this gear, spins all the other gears inside, and this guy is what actually does the magic. As the pendulum spins, it ticks one rotation, just kind of ticks down the line here. My problem is, though, that when it ticks, it pauses for a little bit, and sometimes there's not enough momentum to get it to keep on going. The pendulum slows down, everything stops. But it's fun if I disengage the pendulum, then we can have a little bit more fun. Just watch time fly here. One moment while I disengage the pendulum. Everything's adjustable in here, so if you know what you're doing, you can make it work a little better. Mine, this is as good as I can get it. But once the pendulum is disengaged, you can see that it just spins freely. You can see that as this spins faster and faster, this is a little slower. The one behind it's a little slower than that. And this is the one that the weights are actually hung on. The weights are moving down slowly. It's designed so that it'll run for, I don't know, a day or so, and then you can actually just wind it back up again to lift the weights back up. And it will keep on going as long as the weights are pulling down. Now, it's a pretty long string, so this should run for a while. So what is it about? Coming up about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock? We'll just watch and see how it goes all the way down. We can watch a little bit closer here too. Show you all the inner workings. So you can see the C-shaped thing behind it here. That is for the pendulum to tick against that wheel. It does great if I just do it like this, but if I actually want to use it as a clock, not so much. So I got about 2 feet left to go for the weights. I tried working on the gears with a Dremel, and all the little gears, all the big gears, just kind of tried to make it good. Spent a lot of time on that, but there was nothing that I could really do. It's just too much friction. I pretty much gave up on it. I said I would put it together, give it one last go, then we'll take it apart and see what makes it tick. Weights are just about down to the floor here. So as far as assembly goes, every gear is made up of layers of thin cardboard. You put the glue on the cardboard, put the next layer on, let it dry a little, put the next layer on, let that dry. So you're always just adding more layers. The thicker gears, there are some that have about 15 layers of cardboard, and there's some that only have, I don't know, 5 layers of cardboard. So the weights have dropped all the way. It's coming to an end. I don't know how long we got there. I guess I stopped counting, but looks like it's almost 9 o'clock, about 8:30. So let's take it down and we'll see how everything looks inside. I'll disconnect the weights. Just clip like that. Clip like that. The weights are pretty heavy. They're filled with pennies. I'll disengage the pendulum. Just kind of lifts out and down and through. And the pendulum's a little heavy too. That's also filled with pennies in the bottom. Pendulum is adjustable. The adjustment you would make would, if it's running fast or if it's running slow, you could correct for that. I never got that far. Then we have the clock itself. I'll open it up, we can see what it's all about here. The minute hand, we'll just kind of twist it off. The hour hand just slides off freely. This guy, it's like a 60-to-1 gear ratio, so the minute spins faster than the hour. This just kind of spins off, twists off. Should be able to get it to come off just by rotating, twisting. So that was just kind of pressed down there. Then the cover comes off. Once the cover comes off, everything kind of falls apart. So we'll take this apart on the chair here. And with the cover off, you got all the gears. So we have the, I don't know, I consider it like a second hand, the one that the pendulum goes up against. Just like that. The one that it runs up against. Then this one, this is basically the minute hand, I guess. And you can see that this is what the weights actually stay on, and it spins. When you're winding the clock, you just grab it and spin it like this, and it starts to wind up the weights. And then what's left in here is just the indexer. As the pendulum goes left and right, it allows this one to go a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. So that's the clock. I've given up. This will be thrown away now. It was fun, but it's not going to be a very good clock. I haven't heard of anybody successfully working on this clock. I have tried doubling the weight to give it a little bit more oomph, but it wouldn't go. Just the same problem. And it ended up actually just twisting the gear that the weights hang on. It didn't work out, but it was fun. Yeah, so that's the clock. Goodbye.